weather. I am a free, sovereign being. I activate the full power and resonance of my being. I am a vast being of light, not limited by time or space. I am connected to the great web of life. My consciousness is spacious. I am expanding beyond all limits. I am a free, sovereign being. I own my power, I own my light. In this time of ascension, I am called to move beyond all chaos of the earth plane. I do this through recognizing my true nature as expansive light. I am done wasting my time with beings or situations that are bound by limitation and suffering, those who do not choose to live in the light. I'm a free, sovereign being. I own my power. I own my light. I have grown within the limits of this world, but now I am done with all limitations. I am waking up from the illusions and deceptions of this 3D world. All limits are illusionary. I am remembering my true nature. My true nature is light. My true nature is spaciousness. I remember my true connection to God, Goddess, all that is. With every breath, I remember my true nature as expansive light, as expansive love, as expansive joy. I'm a free, sovereign being. I own my power, I own my light. In each and every situation, I ask my higher self and all high frequency beings working with me to assist me in remembering my connection to the light. As a free sovereign being, I ask for a divine dispensation to dissolve anything in my energy fields that is working against my awakening, against my authentic being, against my soul mission. I am a free sovereign being. I own my light. I own my power. I am light. I am love. I am freedom. My mind is fluid light. Every thought is infused with the light and bliss of my soul. All beliefs are being upgraded in the light of love. All stories are being upgraded into higher frequencies of possibility. My mind is soaring beyond all limits imposed by the matrix. I dissolve all limiting agreements and rules. I no longer play the binding game of limitation. I am a free sovereign being. I own my power. I own my light. I am light. I am love. I am freedom. My heart is fluid, expansive light. My heart is expanding beyond all bindings. I dissolve anything binding my heart to conflict or drama, limitation in any form. Love does not seek to bind another. I release all binding from my blood family and my soul family. I grant my heart the gift of freedom. I release all old energies within my heart that generates any sense of limitation. I am a free sovereign being. I own my power. I own my light. I am light. I am love. I am freedom. My body is the sacred temple of the bright flame of my spirit. As the ascension process unfolds, more of my light is downloaded into the body. My hormonal system is being upgraded to hold this increase in light. My digestive system is being upgraded to hold this increase in light. My nervous system is being upgraded to hold this increase in light. My reproductive system is being upgraded to hold this increase in light. I'm a free sovereign being. I own my power. I own my light. I am light. I am love. I am freedom. My chakra system is now being upgraded to hold more light. In my base chakra, I am safe, secure and stable. I am deeply rooted within myself. I have a right to be here. I am connected to my body. My body is holy ground. In my sacral, I own my creativity, my emotional power, my sexual energy. I have a right to feel pleasure. I allow myself to feel pleasure. I love all aspects of my physical body. Life is joy. Life is flow. In my solar plexus, I own my power, my courage, my boldness, my tenacity. I have a right to be powerful. I am the architect and also the scriptwriter of my life. In my heart, I forgive myself and others. I feel at one with the kingdoms of nature. I have a right to be here, to love and be loved. I am balanced. I am part of a great network of starseeds across the planet. In my throat, I activate the full resonance of my voice. I have a voice that needs to be heard. I am authentic. I live with integrity. I communicate my thoughts and feelings easily. I share my wisdom and insights with others. I am truth. In my third eye, I have a right to see deeply into the nature of my reality. I am connected to my inner guidance. I am connected to the higher wisdom within my higher self. I am a clear and pure channel for inspiration. In my crown I am one with the universe. I have a right to know and experience my true nature as a divine child of the universe. I am one with my infinite, multidimensional self. I am infinity. I am a free, sovereign being. I own my power. I activate the full power and resonance of my being. Ascension News. Embracing 5D world consciousness. The opposite of abundance is scarcity, or as I call it, scare-city. Scare-city is another term for low-frequency 3D living. How do I know about this kind of living and consciousness? Well, I was introduced to it by my family, but my real initiation came much later. In my early 20s, I began working in international banking in the City of London, staying for around a decade, leaving in my late 20s in 1987. To be honest, I was a very bad fit. I never really believed in the work I was doing. I was there because I didn't know what else to do, and there was also a golden cage of financial benefits closing around me. This was a painful time where I felt I was a round peg being squeezed into a very square hole. Ethics was not something much talked about in the banking world. I remember on a number of occasions raising concerns about some of the projects the bank was involved in. And I was told by most of my colleagues just to forget these concerns, forget this idea of social justice, focus on my work, focus on the bonus at the end of the year. None of this really worked for me. You see, I never really cared much about shareholders or profits. I knew in my heart I needed to do something else, but with a young family to support, this was not an easy decision. Eventually I hit a crisis and energetically hit the wall. I took a year off sick to convalesce, then resigned. My soul was calling me to adventure, and I could no longer resist the calling. I had no idea where this would lead, but looking back, leaving the bank was one of the best decisions I'd ever made. I'm certain if I had stayed there, I would be dead or mad by now. After leaving the 3D world of banking, I entered the more politically left-wing world of local government. This was an interesting journey, but to fast forward, after 10 years there, I left my job to finally leave the 3D matrix and work behind for good. I had been exploring different spiritual paths for several years, and the only area not aligned with my spiritual life was how I earned or generated money. After a few adventures in different work settings, I became a director of a not-for-profit organisation called Alternatives. This was in 2000. Alternatives hosts spiritual authors for talks, workshops and retreats. Wonderful time there, and stayed as a director for 13 years. At the beginning it was challenging because the organisation was not in great financial shape. And I was only beginning to just then learn how spirituality, business and money really work together. This was an incredible learning curve, and I left the organisation in great financial shape and still doing very well. I left at the winter solstice of 2012 to devote my time and energy to my own ascension process and my own ascension business. This experience continues to be a journey of a lifetime. The nature of the universe is abundant. How do I know this? Well, just notice the sun, its radiance of light and energy that constantly shines. This radiance allows life on this planet to flourish. You may have noticed there's no corporation anywhere sending you a monthly invoice for this gorgeous gift. This is just one example of the generosity of nature. For another, think of the sunflower seed. Under the right conditions, the seed will produce a gorgeous flower that in turn will produce many hundreds, perhaps even thousands of seeds. These seeds will in turn go on to produce many fields of flowers. We live in an abundant universe, even though we still have a foot in the density of the 3D world. The 3D matrix would have us believe that scarcity is the natural order of things. This is something that most economists believe, of course. And the financial system is set up so abundance equals money, which is a finite commodity. From a spiritual point of view, money is energy, and energy follows belief, intention, and vision. Money, as energy, is attracted to certain frequencies and repelled by others. In 3D, money is attracted to those who desire it the most, who value it the most, who intend to have it the most, and who chase it the most. Now the planet is ascending, and the money game is changing. More and more, money is attracted to individuals and enterprises with vision and energy that truly uplift the planet and uplift others. The internet has changed the way the world does business. It's revolutionized many industries, such as publishing and music. Even though the world is changing, and many individuals and enterprises are doing great work, we are not out of the intense gravitational pull of the old 3D scarcity financial system just yet. Consciousness is created, and since most of the global population feel disenfranchised from the abundance of the earth, this helps keep the 3D matrix of fear, separation, and control very much alive. I know from working in the system, and also from my experience of being the receiving end of the system, this generates not only scarcity consciousness on the planet, but it's also responsible for many of the major problems we face, such as pollution and war. In this outgoing 3D matrix, the monetary system locks billions of people into debt, anxiety, consumerism, which is a very low frequency consciousness that blocks our ability to know our true spiritual nature. Money itself is not the problem. The system that controls and manipulates monetary flows is the real problem. And this system could be viewed metaphorically as a great pyramidal structure, with a small group of people, a very small group of people at the top, reaping most of the rewards, while many at the lower levels struggle to simply survive. A very few people at the top own a vastly disproportionate percentage of the global wealth. Because of the time we're in and the light impacting the planet, this way of living is going to change. The financial system as it currently stands is unjust, destructive, alien to human nature and to every living kingdom on the planet. I'm sure that you are reading this because you know there is something very wrong here. The system is in dire need of transformation, otherwise it will simply collapse, or partially collapse, either of which will force a new and more just, equitable way of living on the world. Further down the timeline, I believe it's destined that the whole money system will be totally reimagined, transformed, and perhaps even got away with altogether. The current monetary system has been referred by some people as a Babylonian slave money magic system. This will give you a clue of how long ago it was created. Controlling money gives many advantages. Controlling money flow allows an unprecedented ability to control the masses. A small group of people can then control the governments of the world. This small group has tremendous power, and this power has been in place for as long as systems have sought to rule. Many well-meaning people have tried to challenge this way of doing things. For example, when Julius Caesar first came to power in ancient Rome, one of the biggest challenges he faced was a mountain of debt, causing social unrest, poverty and civil war. There was a distinct lack of coinage, as people were hoarding currency. Julius Caesar ended the unrest by providing free rent for all citizens for a year, limiting how much currency could be kept per citizen, and cancelling all interest payments due since the outbreak of civil war. Many were jubilant, but not everyone was happy, of course. Money changers had suddenly lost control of a very lucrative business, but this would not be the case for long. Caesar was assassinated, corruption then returned, taxation increased, businesses failed, citizens lost homes and lands, poverty became the norm. Does this sound familiar? In the 1960s, John Kennedy attempted to change the American financial system. On June 4, 1963, John F. Kennedy signed an executive order calling for the issuance of currency through the US Treasury rather than the Federal Reserve System. He also gave a radical speech about the dangers of secret societies in America, and this also sealed his fate. He was assassinated shortly afterwards. Scarcity is created by conditioning and fear-based programs that become lodged deep within the subconscious mind. Such programs, based on false beliefs about the nature of reality, have passed down the generations. For instance, my parents went through rationing in World War II as children, and my mother continued to act as if rationing would come back at any moment. She did this by storing lots of tin food in her kitchen cupboards. She did it up to the time she passed over to the other side. So scarcity programs can be passed down the bloodline. We may feel such programs being triggered whenever we take a step to move out of systemic control. Scarcity programs can also come from past life experiences. Just think of the lifetime in the monastery where you've taken vows of poverty out of a belief that money is bad or evil. Think of the opposite kind of experience where you had lots of money and as a result your family were robbed or killed. Programs in the bloodline and from past lives can of course be cleared and neutralized. People are more easily controlled when they're in fear or survival mode. I know from personal experience that every time I came to a major choice point in my life, one where I felt invited by Spirit to take a step forward, a step out of my familiarity zone, it came with a sense of fear or anxiety. How would I pay the mortgage? How could I afford to eat? What would become of me? What if it all goes badly wrong? All of these thoughts were one way or another associated with beliefs around money. My worst case scenario was a deep fear of homelessness. When I was at one particularly powerful choice point back in the 90s, I remember scouting around local parks, looking for cozy spots to sleep should the worst come to the worst. It never happened, of course. Scarcity consciousness creates an almost hypnotic compulsion to accumulate money or goods, or to shop in order to stay safe, feel good or worthy. Scarcity could be viewed as a disease of chronic unhappiness, a disease of the spirit that creates a state of spiritual bankruptcy. If we believe our self-worth is based on how much money we earn or have, or how big our house is, or how much status is attached to our job, then we're in trouble. We need to see how these ideas are at work inside our minds so they can be cleared, neutralized, replaced. Such programs are like layers of an onion. At the top are the conditioning we have taken on in this lifetime, and below are ancestral, bloodline, past life programs. These programs, as mentioned, can be changed. When this happens, like Neo in the Matrix, we begin to unplug from the old fear-based system and open up to new ideas and possibilities that more closely reflect our true nature as a multidimensional spiritual being. From this point on, we will feel more aligned with the true nature of the universe and the natural order of life on this planet. Following the 2012 alignment, we are experiencing an increase of light. This is serving to wake people up to a new level of consciousness. This in time will help reboot many of the governing systems on the planet, including most importantly our financial system. Many light workers and starseeds are already working within such systems and upon such systems, helping to shift the old energetic blueprint. New ideas are being created in the wings, birthing new possibilities that will end this old paradigm of control. For example, cryptocurrencies, which although still operate within the old system, are helping to shift us away from the control of the central banking system. Such movements are shifting the planet towards a new economic paradigm, one that's in harmony with the spiritual laws and the natural prosperity of the universe. I believe this year 2017 and next year 2018 to be crucial years in initiating some massive shifts in our dominating systems. These shifts will be ultimately liberating. Overall, however, the planet will continue to see slow and steady change towards a more just and wholesome light. Darkness will continue to be witnessed and released as we move towards greater global transparency and justice. expansion of spiritual tools and techniques, we can learn to create a more abundant reality. There are many things you can do to neutralize the impact of 3D scarcity consciousness. Money carries so many projections of anxiety, desire, greed from the collective. This is one reason why light workers, I believe, keep money at bay. They feel it comes with a mixed bag of energies they'd rather not have. It's possible to clear money of negative energies, so you can let more of the cleaned energy in your life. Just as water needs filtering, money does also. Can you imagine cleaning all the streams of money coming into your life, so that money as energy uplifts you? In meditation, I personally like using gold energy to uplift the streams of money entering my life. Wherever money enters your life, from whatever source, imagine clearing that stream of energy with light. Perhaps imagine great golden nets of light catching any lower energies, perhaps filtering all money streams, entering your personal space, so that all energies such as fear, greed and shame are neutralized. Remember, money as energy can be diverted, siphoned off, or made to disappear down black holes in the global banking system. This is much easier to do now we have entered the digital age, where money is energy blips in different banking systems. It's important to make sure your bank account are energetically cleared and sealed, so they do not leak energy. Again, you can imagine filtering all the channels of money coming in and out of your bank account in meditation. I like placing filters of ultraviolet fire across all channels coming into my digital bank account. This helps to clear money coming in and protects money from energy vampirism. Replace these filters often. Imagine your bank account like a water tank. How small or large is it? Give yourself permission to enlarge the tank. Check for leaks or dark portals where money is sucked out in some matrix oblivion. Close any openings with the help of your higher self. Seal the tank with gold light. Call upon Archangel Metatron. Place an infinity symbol on all sides of the tank. Imagine expanding the size of the channels entering the tank. Make sure the size of the light filters expand to also filter out any negative energies. Place outgoing channels in the tank higher so that money does not constantly drain out of the metaphorical tank. It's important to realize that wealth consciousness is a mindset. It's much more than money. When you are vibrating with wealth consciousness, you no longer fear losing anything. You're at ease with uncertainty. For this, you know, will lead to many new adventures and opportunities. You are a pathfinder, a map maker, a dream weaver. Much darkness is now ending on the planet. We are heading for a new era of freedom and abundance. Just imagine you can cancel all negative karma with money. Imagine deleting all poverty vows and associated patterning in your consciousness. Imagine having a spring clean in your Akashic soul records. You have lived many lifetimes. Some of these lifetimes are amazing reference points where you created much joy, flow and abundance. You are a multi-dimensional being. You have experienced wealth consciousness in different ways in different planes of existence. You already know how to create heaven on earth. Just give permission to upgrade all your thoughts, all your feelings around what is possible for you in the planet. Become grateful for the small and not so small miracles that come your way. As you shift into a greater flow of abundance, you give permission for the collective to shift. Look for happy energy exchanges. Look for win-win situations. Be clear in your agreements. Be clear in your contracting with other people. Sit for 5 to 10 minutes daily and connect to your inner light. In this connection, cultivate feelings of love. Self-love is the baseline of happiness. Self-love is the baseline of health and abundance. Imagine wishing abundance to all the people you know. Use affirmations to assist your unconscious mind to reprogram limiting beliefs. Work with self-forgiveness. Release past experiences or judgments about experiences that limit your sense of abundance. Unhook yourself from toxic emotions so that you can move forward in a healthy way. Often this means feeling those emotions first and then holding them up to the light to be released. Ancient wisdom teaches us that attention flows where energy goes. Train your mind to shift from fear and anxiety to what gives you joy, what you feel grateful for, to what kind of world you want to create. From there, focus on what you would love to welcome more in your reality. The intention of giving and being generous opens a flow of abundance in your life. Give what you most want to receive. Open your consciousness to receive in all directions, especially those that are unexpected. Notice what feels light and expansive in your life and what feels heavy and tense. Know what you need to walk away from or let go of. Drop the heavy. Open more to those things that feel light. Together we are one. Together we can create a great wave of spiritual light and spiritual abundance on the planet right now. We can learn to open channels of abundance in all forms. Abundance through money, abundance through friendship, perhaps support, a pooling of resources, perhaps through unexpected opportunities. The natural state of human beings, of human life, is abundance, is wealth consciousness. Many blessings.